Hello peeps, back on the trail. End of July 2017, heading on a 60-mile, 5-day trip from Castle Danger down to Duluth. Haven't been out on the trail for a couple months. Looking forward to this. Trail conditions sound like they're muddy, a little bit of bugs, but it's kind of what you got yourself into when you came out here on the trail. So, trying out some new things that I'll share with you along the way. But it looks like a good time. Looks like decent weather, a little bit of rain, but no washouts. So, I've been on the trail for 30 seconds and I'm walking through my first mud already. So, you gotta love it.
I got heartaches in my pocket. I got echoes in my head, and all that I keep hearing are the cruel, cruel things that you said. I'm 1,000 miles from nowhere. Time don't matter to me.
Well, came to the first overlook and my first view of Lake Superior. Alright, I just finished the first 6.4 mile segment of the trail. I've come to Lake County 301, and I just wanted to, for people on the Superior Hiking Trail Association website, they say that the bridge is closed over the Encampment River. And I see this big rope and sign here, but as you saw, I crossed the Encampment River just fine. Didn't even get my feet wet. Water's low enough. Big rocks there. Not an issue. So if you're coming and going across that river, don't take the detour this time of year unless there's a big rainfall. Now I'm heading off to you can see it's about 1.2 miles to the next campsite. Silver Creek is 1 mile. I think I'm gonna get some more water. And the end of this section at the next trailhead, it is 5.4 miles. But this trail doesn't look like it's maintained too good here this first section. So hopefully it clears up. Well, it's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I've hiked 13.3 miles to the Reeves Falls campsite. I haven't taped a whole lot the last 5 miles or so. I've been walking with a couple through hikers, so I wasn't videotaping, but ran into some other hikers going the other way. They said this campsite was terrible and that the next one was awesome. So I'm debating right now whether I'm going to hike another 4 miles and go to the next campsite. Just stop for a little bit of lunch here. Having some summer sausage and some goldfish. Get a little protein, get some salt. So I don't know. This campsite, you know, this time of year in July, everything's kind of overgrown. I tell you, that trail that we were on, a lot of it was about waist-high weeds. So it was pretty challenging. In this last section, there was a blowdown area where it regrew in with thistles. So that was a little bit challenging. I'm glad I had the other 2 guys in front of me making girly noises when they got hit by the thistles. So yeah, I'm not seeing a real good place to hang a hammock here. That'd be a good spot for a tent there, but not much for hanging. So I know on my last hike I said I wasn't ever going to hike 18 miles in a day, but here I go again. Alright, I think I'm about halfway to the campsite from my last spot where I talked to you. Kind of questioning whether I should have done this. I'm going to make it there fine, but my feet are a little sore. So got to be careful I don't get any blisters, considering I got another 40 some miles to go. So just came to this railroad bridge I'm going to walk underneath. I think I might actually stop underneath here in the shade, rest a little, drink some water, maybe let my feet breathe a little bit. Well, hiking out on the trail is definitely beautiful. I'm going to show you all the nice scenic views and the outlooks over the lake and the pretty sights. There are some things that aren't so pretty, like my feet. Alright, it's about 5:30. I finally made it to the Stewart River campsite here on the Stewart River. Pretty nice campsite, nice flowing river there. A couple minutes here, I'm gonna take off my shoes, throw on some Crocs, and go down by the water and soak my feet and filter some water. But it was a long day. Anything over I don't know, 14, 15 miles is a lot for me, so I need to soak the feet. But I've been here for a while, have the hammock all set up, just went and hung my bear bag. I can never truly relax until after my bear bag is hung, because it's usually an adventure. There weren't too many trees around here that worked well for it, but it went up on the first throw, which is doesn't happen very often. So Stewart River campsite. Bear bag is down that way. Plenty of distance away from the campsite. I'm here by myself so far. See the fire ring here. I'm leaning towards not making a fire just because I'm lazy. Gonna make some dinner here in a minute. Here's my setup. Again with the Warbonnet Superfly Poly, Super Poly Rainfly Blackbird XLC hammock. New this time, I made a do-it-yourself under quilt and top quilt. Test it out, see if it stays warm tonight. I set up the Rainfly pretty wide here, thinking it's not going to rain. Okay, boys and girls, it's now time for campfire cooking with Jeremy. Tonight, we will be making a dehydrated meal from Mountain House, but first we must boil our water using our cat food stove. Boil 2 cups of water. It'll roughly take 8 to 9 minutes. Following the boil, we will pour the water into the home-style chicken noodle casserole. The next entree on our menu is a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on potato flatbread. Kudos to Chick-fil-A for having grape jelly packets in a packet that can be brought camping. And your dinner, following your dinner, a wonderful chocolate fudge dipped granola bar. Alright, it's about 7:45. As you can hear, a thunderstorm came in. I'll bundle in for the night, watch a little Netflix and go to bed and hopefully stay dry. Morning, day 2. Rained and thunderstorm most of last night. However, I think I slept the best that I've ever slept in my hammock. Probably fell asleep about 9:30, woke up a little after 6. Got my bear bag down, have mostly everything packed up. Got some real nice people from New Richmond into our campsite last night. Filtered some water this morning, gonna eat some breakfast and hit the trail. Alright, back on the trail, day 2. Planning to go about 13.3 miles today. Probably gonna be a little bit of a wet walk, given all the rain last night. Getting wet from the leaves and all the weeds, but it's alright. Temperatures are pretty nice. It wasn't supposed to rain last night, and they said it was supposed to rain today, so hopefully they'll be wrong and it'll be pretty clear today. I see the sun's out, so get moving, see what we see. That, folks, is a moose track. Looks like he was headed the opposite way that I was going. Another one. Another one. Another one. So, not sure if I want to see a moose or not. I want to see a moose. It's kind of like a bear. You want to see a bear, but from a long ways away. I see more tracks here. I don't think it's bullwinkle. So one thing that you should know if you come out on the trail at the end of July is there are a lot of weeds. Okay? So you can kind of see what I'm walking through here. And I think this is the trail. I see a little blue flag there, but then I see a mark on the tree over there. So we'll see what happens. But you can see these weeds are all wet, so some wet going. Little trail marker, little trail marker. Looks like it curves back over here. And there are some more trail markers. So hopefully the weeds aren't this way for too long, but this is the time of the year that the weeds grow fast, so it's kind of hard to keep the maintenance up and the weeds down. So McCarthy Creek campsite, very nice campsite. This is actually where I was supposed to stop today and camp, 24 miles in. As you can see, real nice camp pads up in the woods, nice big fire ring, nice water source down here. But I've only gone about 6.5, 7 miles today, and it's only 11 o'clock. So I think I'm going to try going about another 6 miles today to the next campsite. I apologize if I haven't shot a whole lot of video along the trail, but honestly, this section of the trail, there aren't a whole lot of exciting things to shoot. You're basically just walking through the woods. So, which isn't a problem. I mean, obviously I like walking through the woods or else I wouldn't be out here, but it doesn't make for a real exciting video. So, in about 3.5 miles though, I think there's something called the 12-mile outlook, which sounds exciting, and we'll see what happens.
Miles from nowhere, guess I'll take my time. Oh yeah, to reach there, look up at the mountain.
Do I look as tired as I feel? So I got to the 12-mile thing and I didn't see anything. But I made it to the Big Bend campsite. This is where I'm going to stay today. I had to stop about 3.5 miles ago. Took off my shoes. Got a blister on the back of my left heel. Dried, let them air out, dry out. Put some moleskin on. Put some dry socks on that didn't stay very dry very long. But so I'm 30 miles in. About 6 miles ahead of where I should be. Realistically, my last day of hiking was only 6 miles, but I'm thinking I'm going to have to cut back my mileage a little bit because of that blister, but we'll see. So, need to set up the hammock. I hear the water down that way. Before I do any of that, it's time for a Snickers. I think I earned it. So I wanted to give you a little bit more close-up of my do-it-yourself top quilt and under quilt that I made this past winter. So I by no means am an expert seamstress, as you'll see, but I made this top quilt and this under quilt for roughly $70 combined. Costco certain times of the year sells down quilts for $20 a piece. I bought 3 of those and made these 2 pieces out of that. So the top quilt was basically just taking the quilt and making it a little bit narrower and sewing some extra material on the end here to make it a little bit longer, and then sewing a foot box in. So just sewing up the end here. Pretty simple. The top quilt was a little bit more complicated, or I mean the under quilt, a little bit more complicated in that I took a bunch of the down from that third quilt that I didn't use on other pieces and overstuffed this quilt. So I made this one a little bit longer too, as you can see, and along the top for the main suspension there's some fabric to run the elastic line through here, as well as the secondary suspension. There's a channel on the end for that, all put together with an S-beaner up on the top. So one of the things that took a lot of time is it doesn't look like a quilt anymore, where I took all the seams out that ran this way, because these seams, there's no down there, so it'll get cold in those spots. So by reducing and taking the cross seams out, there's less cold spots. So I'm not sure exactly how cold it'll go. This is mainly what I'm going to use for my summer camping, so I'm not too worried about it. Last night I was plenty warm with shorts on and a t-shirt. So real happy with it so far. You know, it weighs about the same as my War Bonnet Wookie and my hammock gear top quilt. There isn't a whole lot of savings there, but those two are too warm to be using during the summer. So it's always a little refreshing to have a little oral hygiene. Alright, I've been laying around camp here for an hour or so, relaxing, put my feet up, lay in the hammock for a little while. The good news is my blister feels pretty good. The bad news is I have several toes that have black toenails and are kind of painful. I thought it was just dirt, but it's not dirt. So anyway, here's my setup. You can see I have the pullouts engaged tonight. I only put one up last night because then it rained, so I thought, maybe I'll put them both out today. I got plenty of time. Got my laundry, my shorts and underwear and socks drying out, my other pair of socks drying out. And over here I'm making some dinner. You can see I have my cat food stove here behind the windbreak. Very easy, made out of cat food and a tomato paste can. And tonight's menu, I'm trying something different. Instead of the Mountain House, I'm trying the Camp Chow Chicken Alfredo. Now Camp Chow, I've heard great things about, and it's locally made. Camp Chow is made for campers by campers on the Gunflint Trail, Grand Marais, Minnesota. Trail Center Lodge is the one that makes them. So we'll try that. Doing the PB&J again. So I look everywhere for these little condiment packets. We're in hotels or restaurants, seeing what I can bring out here. And before I tried to bring out the jelly little tubs that you find in restaurants, and those squish and make a mess. So I was delighted when I went to Chick-fil-A and saw that they have these packets. Peanut butter is a little bit easier. They got those in grocery stores. And of course a little chocolate for dessert. So looks like it's going to be a relaxing night. It's clear so far. It's about 6 o'clock. I'm here by myself, nobody else yet. So I'm not going to make a campfire because it's a lot of work. So I'm just going to eat and just maybe hit the hay a little early. Well, it's day 3. It's about 7:30 in the morning. All packed up. Ready to go. Grab my bear bag. It was a little bit, to be honest with you, it was a little bit hard to get out of the hammock this morning. Because I know this stretch of the trail, a lot like yesterday, isn't that exciting. You look in the trail book and the significant spots on the trail are road crossings or hill or something, but it doesn't sound like it's very exciting. So, but I think I told you I'm on a quest to section hike the whole trail, so I'm knocking out this 60 miles. Well, everything I've seen on YouTube and read, it's probably the least interesting part of the trail, but hey, my feet are feeling a little bit better. We'll see how they do today. And eat my Pop-Tart, filter some water, and get on our way.
I have to climb, oh yeah, to reach there. Lord, my body has been a good friend, but I won't need it when I reach the end. Miles from nowhere, I guess I take my time, oh yeah, to reach there. everything. So don't it make you feel sad?
Okay, I saw those signs back there that said that they're doing some forestry projects here for the next part of the trail. Old forest, taking down a bunch of old trees, planting new ones. But what about some trail maintenance, man? Sure, I videotape and I get to a good part of the trail, but it's just thick underbrush. It's hard to tell where the trail even is here. So, needless to say, I'm getting all wet, scratched up on the legs, but suck it up, Buttercup. Hopefully it doesn't last too long. So I finally came to some place with a nice view. It's been a couple days since I've seen something like this. It's a little overcast. I could hear it raining a little bit when I was in the woods, but a nice little break.
'Cause I'll drink to you, my baby. I'll think to that. I'll think to that. Miles from nowhere, not a soul in sight. Oh yeah, but it's all right. I have my freedom. I can make my own rules. Oh yeah.
Well, I'm 40 miles in, 20 miles to go. I'm at the, what am I at? The Sucker River campsite. Nice big campsite. It's only about 1 o'clock. Finally got some internet service here and some cell phone service, so I FaceTime home my wife. Haven't talked to her since I left. Kind of good for the attitude to do something like that and connect a little bit. But putting some moleskin on the back of my feet where I have blisters on the back of both my feet, and they're hurting quite a bit, but that's what you get. Not everything's pretty outlooks, and you know, a lot of these videos skip the parts that you may not be interested in, like your feet having blisters and being sore and walking through boring parts of the trail. But it's all part of it. With you got to work in order to get the good stuff. So I'm gonna put in about another 2 hours, 4 miles. It'll get me up to the next campsite. But that campsite, I think it's a beaver pond. I don't like drinking beaver pond water, so I'm gonna, as they would say, camel up here. Drink as much water as I can, load up with as much water as I can, because even the next site that I'll hit tomorrow is unreliable. So need to get as much water now and carry as much, and kind of make sure I don't drink too much along the way. So, but I think I'll get done a day early. If my feet can take it, I'll probably do a 16 tomorrow. Looks like pretty easy trail, and get out tomorrow night. So we'll see what happens.
Lord, my body has been a good friend. I won't need it when I reach the end.
Well, I made it to the Heron Pond campsite. Put the earbuds in. I usually don't do that, but I've heard it gives you a little extra energy, which is what I needed. And he got me through it. There's light rain. My feet are killing me, but I'm here. Try to get set up without getting everything wet. It's a pretty exposed campsite. Hopefully I can find a couple trees to hang the hammock. Okay, for all you hikers that may be in hammocks, Heron Pond campsite has no place for hammocks. So, you can see I'm not walking real good, but you know what? You gotta do what you gotta do. I gotta go a little under 4 miles. It's about 4 o'clock. Hopefully I'll get there around 6. Have time to set up before it gets dark. So throw on the tunes. My phone is a little bit, I'm kind of like my phone. I had to put my phone on low power mode. So hopefully I can make it there before the power runs out on either the phone or myself. But this campsite that I'm going to, ironically, is called Lone Tree Campsite. If this campsite only has one tree, I am. Well, there's a little friend on the bridge right in the middle of the road here. Have I ever told you how much I hate snakes? Ooh, see, I'm jumpy. Move along, Snaky. I don't bother you, you don't bother me. Move it. Oh. So I got the Lone Tree campsite. Found a camp spot. Not the best. Saw that there's some dead trees here. But that was the best I was going to do. Had my hammock pretty much all the way set up. Started looking again at this dead tree that was on this side. Started pushing it. Realized it wasn't safe to sleep here. So I took my tarp down, took my hammock both half down, gave this tree a shove. It's pretty risky. It was came down in 2 pieces. Luckily that way, but it was probably 25 feet tall. But I'm glad I did it. I'll sleep better tonight. I finally taped myself hanging my bear bag in the tree over there. Got it over on the second throw on a really high branch. Came over and I forgot to hit record. Oh well, you have to trust me on it. Tonight's dinner. Water boiling. Cat food stove. Beef stroganoff with noodles from our friends at Mountain House. PB&J. And for dessert, a Snickers. So I wanted to talk about bugs. There's a lot of bugs out here. All my clothes are treated with permethrin, including this buff on my head. Never wore this before, but the bugs, when I was all sweaty, were really going at my head. So this helped out a lot. But I didn't really need long sleeves for warmth, but the bugs were out here, so trying to get a little bit of coverage. So the stroganoff is still a bit too hot. So for your viewing pleasure, ow, 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 you can look at my beautiful feet. Right heel. Left heel. Went through 2 sheets of lamb skin already. Got 1 sheet left that I'm going to use tomorrow. Cut it in half, put it on the back of both my feet. Hopefully that'll last me my 12 miles that I have left. I never thought I'd actually say I only have 12 miles left. But it's been a good trip. Not the most exciting trail spots, but you know, a day out in the woods is a day out in the woods. So, all right, I think I got it on record this time. So I use the PCT method for hanging my bear bag. PCT method, you try to find a branch that's probably about 25 feet off there, 25 feet off the ground, and about 8 feet out from the tree on a branch that's small enough where a bear can't climb out on it. So I'm going to hoist it up. Then you'll see me tie a stick onto the rope, and then when I release the stick, the bag comes down halfway and meets the stick.
I love everything, so don't make you feel sad, 'cause I'll drink to you, my baby. I'll think to that, yes, I'll think to that, think to that. Oh. Miles from nowhere, guess I'll take my time. Oh yeah, to reach there.
Morning. It was a chilly night last night. Got a little colder than I expected. Woke up this morning about 5:15. It was 46 degrees. My underquilt. As I said, I was a little cold. I think if I would have had my down puffy coat on, I would have been fine. But, you know, with that puffy coat, it'd probably get down to 40. With a long sleeve shirt on like I was doing, it was about probably a 50 degree. So, took the bear bag down, put some new lambskin on my feet, slipped on some cold, wet socks and shoes over the top. Thought about toasting the shoes a little bit on the stove to warm them up, but I thought this grass is so wet, you're gonna have wet feet within 30 seconds again anyway. So it's about 53 degrees now. Nice morning. As you can see, the fog just rolled in here. Kind of cool actually. So got about 12 miles to go today. Plan to listen to a little bit of music. Again, just trying to put in the miles here. The trail isn't overly exciting. In fact, I was laying in my hammock last night and I was on Facebook and someone asked what this section of trail was like. Another person answered and it made me laugh. They said, meh.
I wish I had an old dirt road that I could walk along and watch the birds fly by. And when I do, I'd think of you. I wish I could spend more time alone, to have my own place that I called home. And when I do, I would think of you.
Well, Key the Doors music. This is the end. The end of another hike. Seems only fitting that I'm walking through sloppy mud and weeds, since much of the trail was this way. But I like to bring out something positive from every hike. A little bit of positivity, good things about this hike. Learned my underquilt and my top quilt that I made worked out well. Got to figure out their temperature rating. Got a new wool shirt and a wool long sleeve shirt. Love them. They're supposed to make it so you don't stink as bad. That part doesn't stink, but nowhere else does. And I learned if I'm doing long hikes, I can't do 15 miles a day. I need to probably cut my mileage back to a mile, or down to 10 miles. Because the rest of my body can handle it fine, but my feet in sloppy conditions. They're kind of a mess right now. So, but anyway, I made it. Nice and sunny out. I'm out of water, but I can see my car. Adios. And by the way, Blue Buddy.